Welcome back to Kin in Line. I'll make this part 131, and we start probably in about 1996 or so. This is my youngest son, Doug, probably done at the age of about 3 or so, using white pen on black paper, which I've rarely done before, sort of a negative drawing in a sense. Anyway, I think it works quite well. Meanwhile, I was on the Herald, from 94, I was on the Herald newspaper as a sub-editor after 10 years of reporting. And this was one of our photographers, Sam Magella, with a cup of tea. I think I've understressed, under-exaggerated Sam's robust physique. Shame, he's passed away subsequently. We've seen this guy before, Mike Whitley, one of my subbing colleagues for probably most of the time. I was the 22 years I did night sub-editing on the Herald. Again, I've done a little separate version of Mike, top left there, which is more of a caricature. I didn't have that many people around me to draw, so unfortunately for Mike, he became my subject quite often. So a lot of my drawings are done on the back of printouts, because we used to have to print out each page as we proofread it and so forth. So, yeah, what do we have here? I have to confess, I don't remember who this person was. Big drawing, in fact. Neither this one. Clearly not great likenesses, but I have to say I quite like the drawings. And then that was the work, page 4, athletics ban, loan to council of 1 billion rand, and so on. I was laying out sometimes up to half a dozen pages a night, editing sub-editing the front page lead. It was a hectic time. I think I recognize this as another sub-editor, Pat Sidey. He was a couple of years older than me, and I think he got out of the fray a year or two before me, but this definitely has the look of him. That nose is quite distinctive. Oh, and another. So I think this could be, what was her surname? Yeah, it'll come to me. Marlene McCall. Although it looks like a man, this is a woman, short hair, but at one point I think she had short hair. And in the distance she's looking at a large computer screen. So for sub-editing, we did have quite nice so everything was compartmentalized on the screen, and it was quite this new, what's the jargon for it? So they replaced the old ATEX system with a Windows-based thing called Good News, Terra, T-E-R-A, Good News, apparently Italian design, a very, very good editing system. This I recall as John Harvey. He was another of our subs and went on to become a chief sub, and I think is now the night editor on the Herald. Young, a lot younger than me. And yeah, there we are, John Harvey, 9th to the 5th, 2005. Sometimes there's nothing on the other side. So why did I keep this? Because I used to contribute letters regularly to the Herald and leader page articles. Oh, there we go. That's mine up there. So an op-ed piece on diverse heritage ahead of the 2010 World Cup. So this was in 2005. So already we've been awarded it. Question of how we as a nation handle our history will have to be addressed urgently but sensitively in the build-up to the 2010 World Cup. Yeah, so that was me always stirring the pot, trying to take down the woke, politically correct people. This was Rick Wilson, our editor from, I think, about 97 to 03, might even say here. So he wrote this article about his time here. And he came here in 93, sure. So he lasted almost 10 years. Oh yeah, I remember now, I was still a reporter when he arrived. And then I went subbing. Anyway, after his successors proved to me that Rick was actually a solid editor. And this was just a bit of fun in which I have a figure eating up my name. So now again I was still on the British embassies. Oh no, this is Rhodes University. Somehow it's to the editor, but it came to me. But anyway. Before I get on to these, oh wait, let's just move those little doodle arts across and get these bigger ones. Yeah, you see, at this point they were still publishing my stuff. This is 2004. I was at this stage somewhat conned by the US propaganda on Iraq, regrettably, because I think subsequently it's emerged that getting rid of Saddam and killing hundreds of thousands of people wasn't actually a very good idea. And this was probably a ripoff of Saddam's, Anyway, so that was in 2004. Mostly, though, I just decorated these pages with the weird and the wonderful, the bold and the beautiful. Yeah, to be a sub-editor, you have to actually read the paper from cover to cover every day, read other newspapers, check out what's online, particularly from about 2010 when the internet really exploded. And this is the gap that would be left for the leader article, the editorial opinion. I quite like this figure that I've put in here. That was in also 04. And just by coincidence, this is a review that John Harvey did of my book, self-published book, Azanian Apocalypse. Ken Bentley's Look at the Future poses some interesting questions. This was also 04. So yeah, didn't sell many copies, but it's available as a digital book if anyone's interested. No, that's the same thing. This is interesting piece of history. So I submitted this in May of 04. Just an attack on the ANC. And look at it was sent back to me by, I think, the deputy, Robert Ball, deputy editor. Ken, Rick has asked me that we stop running letters from staffers, but he says you're welcome to write to the Sunday Times. And that was a total reversal of their previous policy, which was that sub-editors write letters with a view to stimulating debate in the letters column. In other words, getting people talking about the stories we're running. And I believe once they ousted me from writing, they lost a lot of their credibility. So I'm not sure why this one's here. Yes, there's a couple of responses to probably one of my last letters, or that article I wrote about. Yeah, so Ken Bentley's article, Affirmative Action Needs Cutoff Point. So this is 2004. Was a bold and factual theorem felt by most non-black, unemployed, skilled male South Africans. I agree wholeheartedly with the views expressed by Ken Bentley, affirmative action. So, did they cut off their noses despite their biases by removing me from the discourse there? It was actually shocking. Assault on freedom of expression. Anyway, that might be why this guy's looking a bit disgruntled. Or this guy done with the left hand. Probably both done with the left hand. Yeah, so this is a little bit of a journey through journalism and how it was undermined. So Patrick Cull was their political writer and frankly let us down badly on Zimbabwe. He kept saying, there's nothing the ANC can do about what Mugabe was up to. But the ANC, like South Africa, has always had a hold over what Rhodesia, it was Foster that persuaded Ian Smith to accept majority rule there. So South Africa had a lot of influence, but unfortunately they just stuck with their struggle companions and saw Zimbabwe collapse into a heap. And here it is, actually, Ken Bentley. Local and national